Well, good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. Love how last week finished. And, this truly feels like one of those weeks where it could, in fact, be a big week. We have just enough confidence in the market right now and some events taking place where, if everything goes right, it could be very explosive. Not saying that's going to happen for sure, but I do want to talk about some of these events, what people need to pay attention to, what we might do running into that. Do want to talk about actually another announcement that came over the last 24 hours as well. So if you are new or haven't already, again, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. They're free to do. They'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So yesterday we closed on a very good note for ADA, actually up 4.13%. And this really helped get us to a week where we did in fact have our first green weekly close since all the way back here in the last week of September. So that's a very promising sign. And this close was actually back above our 100-week moving average. Again, this was a close that was broken out of structure. This was a 4.35% increase for the last week. So this Sunday kind of made our day per se. And so now we are in fact broken out of that inverse head and shoulders like we were talking about. We did get a little bit of a rejection off of that 20-day moving average. Not really that surprising. This has been a focal point of resistance many times in reversal trends before. And now it's a question of, can we separate from this? Can we get up into the next zip code, right? Up above, 72, 74 cents like we were talking about. And really, it's going to take the overall market to make this movement. BTC is actually at 115K right now, looking really good. It's actually trying to break this trend that was building since all the way back here in December. And I think if we can get up into this range here, we're going to be doing just fine. All right. Ethereum back above 4150. That's very promising as well. So we're getting the right things on the bigger scale on BTC and Ethereum, and now we just need altcoins to follow, and I think there's a chance that they will here. But let's look at this candle nonetheless, because what we got was a little bit different than what we've been seeing as of late. We actually saw Asian markets wake up, start to pump the charts. We saw European markets wake up, start to dump the charts. Now it's going to be interesting to see how momentum carries us into the early part of the day. As you guys may or may not remember, Michael Saylor, it sounds like, is planning on purchasing some BTC, which it seems like almost every time he does that, the market seems to drop just a little bit, especially in the first half of the day. But we'll see if we can get our legs under us and start to move to the upside. Something I want to remind everybody of as well is that news surrounding the US and China came over the course of the weekend. So remember, the stock market is going to wake up, probably start moving, seeing some green, and that has a chance of spilling over to crypto. Now, I want to remind everybody that this week we have a couple events taking place. We have our FOMC meeting, which starts tomorrow and then is going to be concluding on Wednesday. We're going to find out whether we're going to get an interest rate decrease or not. Likelihood right now sounds very likely. And it's really going to be based on what the sentiment from Jerome Powell is following the conclusion of that meeting. And then Thursday is when we have the big trade meeting between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping. Now, I do want to remind everybody as well that we were supposed to have a GDP report this month on October 30th. That has been delayed because of the government shutdown, so we'll have to wait and see when that release is going to take place. But there was another big thing that got delayed as well. This was actually the Mt. Gox repayment deadline. This was actually supposed to be on October 31st of 2025. It's actually been extended now until October 31st of 2026. So if there were any assets that still had to be repaid to people that could potentially be dumped on the market, now it seems like that's being drug out just a little bit. So it's alleviating a little bit of the sell pressure we could have seen in the markets, if that makes sense. But at the same time, I think there are stables as well that could be distributed. So yeah, you get it on both sides. But what the interesting thing I found here is if we take a look at stochastic RSI, on the daily, we're still on the bullish side of things. We're getting very close to the top of this, where you normally see a little bit of selling take place. But what's interesting is if we look at the weekly stochastic RSI, we are very, very close to a bullish flip taking place. The last time we were down in these oversold ranges, and we actually got a bullish cross to take place, a bullish flip, that led us on some of our most exciting rallies we've seen. Take a look at the one back here in June. Take a look at the one back here in April. All these occurred in the exact same way. Hell, you could even go back to, back here in June, July of 2024. You guys can see a bullish cross right before November took place as well. So we're seeing the right right things in the market, the right confidence. Confidence has been kind of a big word that we should be using here because, for example, you guys remember how we had that bearish weighting in terms of open interest for ADA, where the shorts were outweighting longs in the crypto market. Now it's the opposite. Longs actually have more positions open than shorts. So that's something to pay attention to. I mean, we did get a bunch of liquidations on the short side over the last 24 hours, which is great to see. It's nice to see that, shorts are finally taking a beating for once, but that's kind of where we're at right now. Again, I don't want to seem, like I'm playing both sides of this, but understand that we could see some red before we see more green. This was a nice weekend pump. Sometimes we erase these weekend pumps, but we'll have to just wait and see what happens. We again have exciting things this week that could provide a lot of clarity for the market, but a little bit of excitement, and maybe that moves some of that sideline capital back into the space. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. What do you think this week is going to bring? Are we going to see some red? Are we going to see some green? Will these events have enough momentum to keep us moving up? So have a great day. Share your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.